Hello, productivity, personal productivity enthusiasts, and community. Welcome to Anything But Idle, the productivity news podcast. Today, we are going to do a commentary on the Apple special event California streaming, and it's going to be me, Augusto Pinaud, and also we are going to have our Apple expert and friend, Michael Solinsky. Michael, it is the
Hey,
CEO of Nusby. He's a productivity guy. He's the founder of Nusby and Nusby Teams, the over-functional to-do app for small and medium teams. The project management. Nusby is a project management and collaboration tool for busy professional. Both Nusby and Nusby Teams are web-based tools, app for all major platforms. Michael is also a speaker, author, and a few best-selling books, podcaster, and a blogger, and he's happily married to his wife, Evelina, and has three daughters. So welcome, Michael.
hi.
Stop
Thanks
accomplishing
for.
things so we can make that shorter.
Yeah, I need to shorten it down. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be, talking about iPhones and the new gadgets that are coming. So we'll talk about all that. I'm a big Apple enthusiast. Uh, I think I give Apple too much money. Um, uh, hopefully it's being offsetted by the fact that people are getting our Nozbe apps on the iPhone, and they pay us this way. So maybe this will fund my gadgetry.
Hey, that's the life. So we need to continue figure out ways to continue doing that. So let's begin with what was your full impression of the show before we get into the details of all the offering and what they see. What you thought about the show?
So I mean, the show was full of California, and but the most important thing I think was the fact that they were not really major upgrades to the phones and to the watches and to anything apart from the mini, because mini was really a big jump. But apart from that, they were just small upgrades. But all like we'll talk about that. But they were like all small upgrades in many small places, which make the whole experience of the device just significantly better. Like every year, so every year there is a slight improvement here in cameras and battery life, and this and this and this, and then in total it just makes the device better. So not necessarily for like last year's purchasers, but I'm sure that people who have like 2 or 3 year old devices will be happy to upgrade.
Well, and I think that's a difference. There, Apple, it's been moving from this every year update cycle to now we are going every 2 years. They are not. This is not the first event where, for last year perspective, it's a small increase, but may not be as significant as just go and jump. So that's something that we have seen Apple do more and more, where they're doing consistent small improvements instead of try to break everything every year and come
Yeah,
with something extraordinary.
yeah, totally. Hmm.
So you were going to say?
No, totally. There are just also some like there's always like Apple has improved many things in the devices, and very often they've been very stingy with their offering, like offering a very like low storage devices and all that stuff. They've been gradually getting better, and we'll comment on that.
Oh, I will
But there
complain
is
about that on the Mini. So
yeah, but there are devices where they didn't learn their lesson, and they were not consistent. So we'll talk about that. Yeah.
So let's begin then with the new iPad. That's the first device they announced. It's a 10.2 Retina displays. They add to this entry level the center stage feature that they launched on the iPads Pro on the March event that I have been able to use. And it is really great that the fact that the camera adjusts as you move. So I was really excited to see this on the entry level device. They keep the Apple Pencil first version. They made a lot of noise about the recycling and how the magnets are from recycling rare elements instead of new. So, what you thought about that entry level app and or entry level iPad? And I know as a fact that just recently you got the Pro, and that switched things inside of your house, as it happened on mine. When the new iPad comes, everything gets moved. But this was an interesting thing because it's getting that entry level iPad. It's getting more and more solid year over year.
Yes, completely. And the center stage, which I thought when I got it in my iPad Pro, was like a premium feature. Apparently, it's not a premium feature, and it's good because the entry level iPad is being used by classes, by schools, by kids. And this what center stage does, it really helps you have like a more engaging video conferencing. Yeah, like you can I've already done that several times. Like I was presenting something, so I could like move from here where I sit right now and move to my whiteboard and draw something on the whiteboard, and people could see that,
Yeah.
And I didn't have to move the iPad at all. I just had the iPad in the same place. I just moved, and the camera kind of moved with me, like I had a camera operator, and it was really good.
Yeah, it is awesome. And Ray, who cannot be away from the show even for one day, is saying in the comments, I'm really excited to see center stage on the iPad mini. And me too. I have the iPad Pro, the 12.9 version. That's my main driver, but I still have the mini. I use, and the mini, it's I use the mini more than what I use my iPhone. So it's a device that I really, really love, and I'm excited to see that is coming. So I wasn't sure. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do, and we will talk more about the mini in a second. But this entry level, I think it was solid. It was getting solid, more and more powerful as years come by, and as you said, consistent small improvements over the years for this entry level.
Yeah, they didn't give it, of course, the fastest CPU because they have to reserve that for the Pro models. So it's like a 2-year-old CPU. But apart from that, like everything else about this is great, and the fact that it can use this the smart cover, I think, and then this. So there's like additional features. The only thing I don't like about the entry level iPad is the Pencil version 1. I don't like it at all. But yeah, I think we have to wait a year or two before they change
a year
that.
or two until they get the Pencil 3. I agree. The Pencil 1, it is great. I mean, it's what I use on my mini and all that. But the fact that the Pencil 2 stick to the iPad, it's really a game changer. And comparing to the version 1, that I don't need to now look to put where I'm going to stick my pencil. And yes, I have figured that by now, but the version 2 that is stick to the iPad, it's really something completely different.
Yeah, totally. So, but again, a solid update. The iPad entry level, $300 or $330 for us mortals. It's a good thing. Of course, I still don't like the fact that to bump it for the to the LTE or model, the mobile cellular model, it's so much more money. I think they should finally like really make it not as expensive of an update, because as we argued in our iPad only book way back when, it's good to have iPad with cellular connection. But in that sense, like when you have $300 $330 iPad, and then you want a cellular connection, you have to like add 30% of the price to it. It's a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, that is exactly what they should have done. So in this iPad, they keep the Lightning connector, so you can continue. I didn't know that. Do they charge? So Ray is asking a question that is interesting. How they explain how in this iPad you're going to charge that, because did they change the Lightning?
No. Or, so there is to get it right. The entry-level iPad has Pencil 1.
Yes.
But the Mini has Pencil 2.
Correct.
And Pencil 2 charges with magnetically, just like it does in the Pro.
In agreement. But on the Pencil 1, on the iPad 1, I thought they changed it to USB-C, USB-C
No,
to
no,
charge.
no,
Not on that one. Oh, that's what they did.
no. The entry-level iPad is the same thing. So it's still Lightning. That's why it has the Pencil one as well. It's
Okay.
still Lightning. The thing hasn't changed. So there are two Lightning devices right now: the iPhone and the
As well as the
iPad entry level. iPad Mini, the new iPad Mini, the iPad Air,
that one
and the
will charge
Pros, they all
magnetic.
are USB-C. That's why. So there is no converter, no nothing. So it's just a completely different port. They are completely divided right now between USB-C and Lightning.
So let's go then to the next thing, the iPad Mini.
Yes.
And the more I look at this iPad Mini, I cannot justify it, but I will buy it anyways.
Yeah, I thought you would do that.
There is no reason for me to upgrade my iPad Mini 5, except that it's going to happen. So let me start from what I love. I love the idea of the pencil, the magnetic pencil. Really, it makes a significant difference. They got me into the orange Smart Folio, the Touch ID. I don't care that much about the 5G. LTE, for the little times I leave my office, it still works fine. But center stage and the landscape stereo speakers really
Mhm.
is, because that's where I hear the music. That's where I do a lot of things. My
Yeah.
complaint was 256? Really?
Mhm. As I told you privately, it's just too many to keep more stuff than 256. It's just too many. Yeah, you're right. It should have more storage, but I think Mini's use case is not really to hang on to lots of things. It's just to be a casual iPad, but a casual, cool iPad. So the iPad that you take out of your purse or your small backpack or whatever, and just you jot down things, you read something. It's just. I love how they changed the design, how they made it more colorful, more playful. And when you look at it, they even changed the volumes. The volume control is on top because the pencil is so long that it's actually the length
Of
of
the whole
the
device.
iPad, right? So it's really it's really strange.
So, and I have a question for you then, because as we were looking at the show, somebody asked me, okay, when the price came up, okay, it started at $499, and somebody came and say, so why will I buy the iPad Mini instead of buying the iPad Air? And yeah, we can argue about the processor difference, okay, but the iPad Air still will have great speed. So, will you buy one over the other one, and why?
Uh, I think it comes down to the size, like if you want a full-fledged iPad to do stuff without getting the Pro, you get the Air. But if you want a very portable iPad, yet a different device than an iPhone Pro Max thing, then the Mini is perfect. And I think, like it used to be a great use case for my wife. My wife would use the Mini a lot because she would just throw it in the purse, and she would have then the Mini, and she would have then all her books, everything there, to read. But ultimately, she just used the iPhone all the time, and she has the Max. So she stopped using the iPad at all. But I think for many people who just want to have a bigger device that is not a phone, a very portable device, or for example, like I think the use case that they did on the presentation, like the photographers, like you have you're out and about, you don't want to carry, schlep your big iPad or big MacBook Pro. You just want to have the camera and an iPad to just check things out, see how they look like, and maybe go through the photos or something. Then the Mini is perfect for that. So I think it all comes down to the size. I think this is what they wanted to do. They wanted to have the Mini and the Air to compete on size and nothing else, to just be the same device. Just you want the bigger one or your smaller one.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I love the Mini. I think I see a Mini in my near future because
It's cute. It's really cute.
well, and I honestly the iPad Pro, it is my main driver, but the Mini is what I use for everything else. If I'm not working, what I have on my hands is the Mini, even more than the iPhone. I don't use the iPhone a lot, and it may be that if I go to a higher screen or a larger screen, I may be able to replace the iPad mini. But the reality is, I love the iPad mini form factor. That's where I read, that's where I handwrite, that's where I do so many things. So I don't know.
Yeah, with the mini also, what they did is they really crammed lots of good things in it. So the screen is better, the camera is very good. Like they did the pencil, like all that stuff, like no bezels, the Touch ID in the button, all that stuff. And they wanted to hit the price point of $499. And because of that, they made the entry level 64 gigabytes, which is kind of crappy. But then the upgrade is only 256. There is no 128 version. So they just stuck to two different models, but because they wanted to hit the 499 entry level.
And I was fine on the 499. I think for some people, the 499 will work well. I was disappointed that they did not produce a 512. I will have loved to have a 512 meeting.
Okay. And again, real-time follow-up. The cellular option. So because it's 5G, $150. So again, this is what I'm saying, and it was $130 on the entry-level iPad. So again, I understand that there is more for cellular and whatever, but more than $100 for the cellular. It's very often why people don't choose an iPad with the cellular, because it's just so much more money, and especially like when you go with the entry level 330 versus 460,
right?
Like it's a big price bump. So people wouldn't do it, but then they will not experience what we do experience, is the fact that you have the additional SIM there and you are online all the time, and it's just glorious on the iPad.
And as you said, on the iPad only book, we discussed that, and at that time I did not have a cellular model, and I remember you arguing with me. I said, but it connects in a moment, and you say, no, there is a difference. And I remember when I got the first one with the cellular model, listening to what you were saying, and really it changed. Is those, I understand, maybe 20, 25 seconds, but now there were a ton of other things that I will do on the iPad anywhere, because I did not need to think on those 20 seconds, was just open and go. So I agree with you. It really makes a difference. And the $150 may be a deterrent for people who has never experienced those 30 seconds advantage enough to really go and buy that one instead of.
I mean, Augusto, this is a productivity show. Any barrier of entry will be a temptation to not do something. If you have a barrier of entry, it's I have to go and tether again. Like, it's just so much more work. It's not. It's, as you said, seconds, but the whole thing that you have to do it creates the whole barrier of entry, which is annoying.
Completely agree. So now we are going to talk about my disappointment of the night. And it was the fact that the iWatch 7 came out with a larger screen, new colors. Given it's my own fault, I wanted to have more sensors. I wanted to be more an improvement on the health. And I was ready to buy it, and now I'm like, I don't know. Should I upgrade it or wait for the Watch 8? And I know your opinion because you already shared that with me, but let's talk about this for the listeners of the show. What was your impression of the smartwatch, the Apple Watch 7, knowing that mine was both down?
Yeah, I would love to have more sensors, but the sensors that it already has are pretty good. So again, it was just a small upgrade. It's presumably a bit more battery life, but especially that are more screen real estate, which I do appreciate. When I moved from the Series 2 to Series 4, and having the much bigger screen was fantastic. It was a great improvement. And then Series 5, having the always on display was great. And I really dig always on display. And then now with Series 7, the display is even bigger. So without the dimensions of the watch being bigger. So I really like it. It's like they pushed to the end of the to the edge, really.
Right, as they have done on every device. When you think
Exactly.
about it, that the iPad Mini went from 7.9 to 8.5, it's a lot. And
Yeah.
we discussed this on when you got your iPad Pro, your 12-inch. You tried the original iPad Pro 12-inch, and it was too big for you, and you returned it, and you have
Yeah.
blogged about it. This one instead, it wasn't.
No, I'm not returning this one. It's glorious. Yeah. So the Watch 7 is a big upgrade for people who, like, you should have upgraded from 3 because you have Watch 3, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, Watch 3, that they still sell it for $199. It's abomination that they shouldn't be selling it. Like, this is really bad. Like, this is this moment where Apple is nickel and diming.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Apple Watch Series 4 should be the entry level for $199, or the SE, and then then maybe Apple Watch 5 should be the mid level, and the 7 the top level. I can tell you a story why you should upgrade from the Watch 3 and not carry it anymore. Because there is a big difference, not only in the screen size, but also in sensors, especially heart-related sensors, with the Apple Watch 3 and the new Apple Watches. My father is carrying Apple Watch 4, which I gave him. It was my Apple Watch 4. I gave my father Apple Watch 4. And my father has problems with heart, that sometimes he has, this, like the I don't know how it's called in English. This thing when the heart is not beating the way it should be beating. Okay. And
let's assume it's arrhythmia. I don't know.
Yeah. Something like that. And it happens, like, he has events like this, like, every, I don't know, 3-4 weeks, right? So the thing was, before Apple Watch, he wouldn't know that it's coming. He would just suddenly feel really bad, and he would know that it's this. He would have to lie down, get his medication, and it would take him like a day or two to get back to recover. Now Apple Watch is telling him, you're about to have it. Oh. It's like magic. It's Apple Watch is telling him, you're about to have this, so slow down and sit down, whatever. And then he sits down, he takes his medication, and then he just, after a few hours, he's good again. And then he does his ECG on the watch, and now it's all asinus rhythm, so it's all correct. It's fine. So it's kind of like, there is this saying in Polish that if you would know you would that you're gonna fall down, you would just sit down before, right? And this is the thing. Like, with the Apple Watch, he knows he's gonna fall down, so he just goes and sits down before that.
And so down, right? Before that, yeah. Atrial fibrillation is what Ray's telling us in the chat. That's
exactly. And it's just, I mean, for me, it's like I knew that I would help him a little bit, giving him the Apple Watch, but I didn't expect this to be like a change of quality of his life. Apple Watch telling him exactly, you're gonna have it now. And it's amazing. So for these new sensors alone, and also for the Apple Watch Series 6 introduced the sensor for oxygen level in the heart. Mm-hmm. I mean, in the blood. So I really strongly believe that because I read that the sugar level and all that stuff, it's tricky, and it might not come next year. It might come in 2-3 years because it's really tricky. I don't know. But you having Series 3, I also believe that in Series 3 you might already have a really crappy battery life. So I think I would advise you to upgrade, because it's going to be a big leap for you and big quality change.
I will continue thinking about it. So far, I'm not fully sold on it. But then it came Fitness Plus, and it's now in 21 countries. They changed the workouts. They now have 5 minutes to 45 minutes workout. You have filters, guided meditation. They work on the mindfulness. Have you used Fitness Plus? It's available. Where are you? You are one of the original countries, or you are now that they have 21 countries?
No, I am pretending to be American, and I have the whole package, the Apple One
Good.
Premier thing, like the whole 9 yards, the whole $30 per month thing, because we have so many devices. I need the 2 terabytes of storage for backups for all the iPads in my family, and all that stuff. So, and we have Apple, we have everything, all these services. So I have access to all of that. I have never tried Apple Fitness Plus, but when I was watching the presentation, I felt kind of ashamed, because I was like, damn, they have 5-minute workouts. I always, like, sometimes I just go about a whole day, like a stressful day, what I'm saying? I have a whole stressful day and I don't do any workout, right? Because I have no time to run. I have no time to, I don't know, swim, or I no time to do anything, because it's got so much preparation. I cannot do it. But then I was like, I have this Fitness Plus thing, and they have like a 10-minute workout. Like, everybody has 10 minutes. Like, I have 10 minutes, to do a short workout, because, instead of launching Twitter, I could just do 10 minutes of workout and then launch Twitter for just a shorter period of time, right? So it's, I think I should try it. And especially also, I wanted to try meditation in the morning. So maybe with this, it will be kind of a, again, barrier of entry. Like, if I have this meditation thing, it will just help me guide through this and do the meditation, instead of just me wanting to do it. So no, I haven't tried the Fitness Plus, but now I'm really inclined to finally give it a try.
Yeah, the 5 minutes workouts was the same thing. You are not going to get me do a 45-minute workout, but at 5 to 10 minutes, I will consider it. So
Right.
So that was an interesting change for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then came what people were expecting: the phone.
The iPhone.
Even that, it was funny. I didn't know this until yesterday, that there has been bets all over outside of this, if this phone was going to be called iPhone 13 or not, for superstitions reasons. But it is called the iPhone 13. So
yeah, I mean, I think they already dropped the S names because they were stupid. Like stupid, right? So it didn't make any sense, because they would basically troll their own iPhone. So we have this iPhone. It's an S phone. So basically, it's, there's another word that starts with S.
Yeah.
So I think 13 is fine. I think they hashtag courage. They embraced the 13. Personally, as you know, I love number 13, because my first daughter was born on January the 13th. So I have no complaints about 13. I love 13.
And I kind of speak for your daughter, that now that you make that comment, I think she will be happy if you get her an iPhone 13.
Yeah, about that. No, so to explain to everyone listening, my daughter is still on the Apple Watch only. She is on the Apple Watch Series 5 as the family setup. She doesn't have she's almost 13, so she's 12 and a half. She doesn't have the phone. Most children at that age already have the phone. Well, she has the iPad Pro. so she has a nice device at home, but she doesn't have the phone, because she doesn't really need it, and I don't want her to be at school just staring at the screen. So as long as she doesn't really complain and really be about it, like if she's not really the only one left out in the class and the only one left standing, I don't want to give her the phone. So maybe actually she might get the iPhone 13, because I'm going to get iPhone 13 now, and then she'll have the hand-me-down at some point, maybe in 2 years or 3 years.
See, it's working. I don't know if she will. I don't know if you will survive 2 or 3 years. Being that my daughter is just 2 months older than yours, I know that's coming. And so I will still propose iPhone 13 for yours, but she will get a hand-me-down. So it may be, I don't know what. But again, the theme on the phones, even on the phones, was a slightly upgrade. It's an upgrade. The water resistance, the anti-dust. They put the promotion. They put the cinematic mode. That was really cool on the Pro version. If you use it as a camera, I mean, the iPhone, it's turning into this really powerful camera, and and I have shared this in the show and many other places. I put my iPhone on top of the iPad and use it sometimes as the video camera, so
Yeah.
I don't need to look down when I can talk more higher. But and these all these cameras and all these options really make that option much better and more powerful. It is an
Yeah.
upgrade if you have an iPhone 12. I don't know.
Well, so things that are interesting. So the battery life is better. I think the A15 chip is not much faster than A14. We will see the tests, but I think it's like,
I
I
haven't
don't
seen
know.
the test yet.
No, there will be tests. I haven't seen tests anyway, but they were comparing it to the fastest Androids because I think the speed bump between last year's and this year's will not be much. They have all the same cores and all that stuff. So technically, I think they're not much faster, but there is what they mentioned, like 1.5 hours or 2.5 hours battery improvement. The biggest improvement is on the Pro phones because they have the promotion, so the better screen, and they have better cameras. So because last year the 12 and 12 Pro had the same cameras, just the Pro Max had a little bit better cameras. And I know, of course, the Pro had 3 cameras instead of 2, but the 2 cameras that it had were exactly the same as the non-Pro 12.
Right.
Now the 12 phone has slightly not as good cameras as the 12 and the 13 Pro. And 13 Pro and 3 Pro Max have the same cameras. So in the end, what I would say is that I am torn between choosing the Mini again, so the 13 Mini, because I love the size. The size of this thing is just glorious. It's just so small. It's just so nice. Like I have small hands and I can hold this like this. It's just very cool. And the regular 13 Pro, which has just very, very nice cameras, and the Pro display. So I don't know. We'll see. I have until Friday to decide what I'm gonna get. Because as per tradition, I upgrade my iPhone every year because I just want to, and then I sell the iPhone to either somebody in my company or some friends. There's usually a line.
This may be the last year you sell it. Now it will enter into the rotation of the family.
Exactly. So I had this interesting discussion with my wife. My wife has the iPhone 10s, so XS Max, right? So a 3-year-old iPhone. And I wanted to convert her to the new Pro Max for many reasons. Because like the battery, it will be bigger for her. The battery life will be better, and my wife kills the battery constantly. Like her iPhone is 1% all the time. I don't know how she does it. And then also the screen will be a bit bigger, and she likes the bigger screen. And of course, then she would be also able to use our MagSafe accessories. And I have quite a few MagSafe accessories already, so we could share them. So I had this interesting discussion with my wife. Baby, there is this new iPhone Max, and it's glorious. It has a bigger screen, better battery life, much better cameras than your phone, and it will support the MagSafe, accessories. So what do you think? My wife, I don't need a bigger, a newer phone. And me, I don't understand. How can you say a word? How does a sentence like this exist? I don't need a new phone, a new iPhone. Like who says that?
I said that. This is still the iPhone X. X,
Okay.
not even XS, X. And I don't everything I use the iPad mini. That's what I carry. I could leave this phone behind happily. The only reason I think I still have an iPhone is because I cannot configure my watch otherwise. Or now that's not true, because with family, I may be able to get rid of the phone and then, or don't carry that thing ever with me and set it up as a family member on my wife phone. I had not thought about that until this instant and second. I don't make that many phone calls. I don't do emails. I stopped doing email on this phone, I don't know, 2000.
Mhm.
2009. So I do everything on the iPad mini. And because of that, I don't upgrade my iPhone until they stop upgrading the iPhone because I have nothing on that thing. I have everything forward really to the iPad mini.
I mean, you're right. And uh, so I just had my friend who has the iPhone 10 as you over. He visited us, and I was checking again my wife's phone, the 10s, and you're right. These phones are really good. Like
They're beautiful.
the whole 10 and 10s line and then 11, like they're all such good phones that as I mentioned, my my wife and she has my wife has already a few covers because she bought a few covers from like fashion covers like from Kate Spade, from like these the same brands that do purses, right? So she's actually she doesn't want to upgrade because then she would have to lose all these covers
All
that
the
she
covers.
likes, and then she doesn't want to purchase many new covers, although this will probably happen, and that's why she's reluctant to change, because like there is nothing in this phone that she can really complain about, because this big phone, because it has really big battery, the battery life doesn't deteriorate so much in the 3 years of that she's been using it, even though she's been abusing it like crazy, because really like it's like I feel like her phone has 1% all the time. So that's why I had this hard time explaining to her that that she should upgrade, or I want her to upgrade. um, so in the end of the day, I think I convinced her to update, because this is her main, not computer. Like
Correct.
she has right now. She got a Kindle Paperwhite for reading, so she is using Kindle Paperwhite. She gave me back the the iPad 11 Pro, which I gave her 2 years ago, because she's not using it. So I found different uses for this one, and she just has the computer, the work computer that she uses for work, and the iPhone. That's it. So I thought, because she's not like you that she has iPads and stuff. I think after 3 years she should upgrade, because it's going to be just nicer for her to use it,
Right.
and she will still get a very good price for the 10s. So it's not going to be like a costly upgrade anyway, right? So and she will have a phone again for another 3, 4, 5 years, and it's going to be fine.
Correct. And it was interesting you mentioned that. I had somebody ask me last week, before the iPhone 13 came out, they have also an iPhone X, and they love the form factor. And his question was, should I update to the XS, or should I just pay Apple the $100 to the battery, replace the battery and keep it? I don't want a new phone. I don't need what, and it's difficult because the phone is still working, it's still fine. I don't, if you want that, fine. The problem with the XS is it's a 2 years battery, so you may end up having one more year and upgrade the battery anyway. So
Exactly.
it's a difficult thing. And I love the fact that Apple is producing the 12, the mini, so that way when this time gets, for me, time to replace it, it will be a mini, what I will get.
Yeah, so this year I'm torn between the mini and the pro, because the pro has so many new things, like the better cameras and better screen. But I think I'll go with the mini anyway. It's just cute. It's just glorious. I like the small phone. It fits in my pocket, and it's just so nice to carry. And okay, I will not do such great photos, but if my wife gets the Pro Max, then I will just use her phone when I want to take a picture, with the Zoom or something, and but apart from that, like the mini, it's just, I like the idea that Apple is still producing the mini. Like it's
that was my excitement. So well, with this we cover, and that was my thing. I'm excited to see. I love the mini factor, and again, I was, when they stopped producing, there was a big delay between iPad Mini 4 and iPad Mini 5, and now that they are coming back to the iPad Air and the iPad Mini with the same form factor, that is exciting. And Apple try on the phone side with the SE, and I know you try one of the SEs at some point. And I like that small form factor. Yes, the big thing, it's cool if that is your, as you said, your main device. If you use that as your main non-computer, great. Get the biggest screen you can. Get the iPhone Pro, the largest you can. But if that's not your main non-computer device, if you have an iPad that you use more than that, the small key factor, it's something that it doesn't, nothing beats that, in my opinion.
Yeah, just think about it. I just got a humongous, iPad Pro, and I'll be carrying it anyway. So if I leave home without the iPad, the Mini is more than enough for me to do everything. It has 5G. It has everything that I need. It's fast enough. It has the latest processor. So for me to do like small things on the Mini on the go, it's still fine. And whenever but usually I will have a backpack, and then I have the iPad in my backpack to just get real work done. So anyway, so yeah, so I guess I just I'll stick with the Mini for one more year, and then we'll see if Apple keeps doing the iPhone Mini.
I hope they do. I really hope they do. Well, and with this, I think we cover the show, what happened, what it was good, what excited us. Any final comments?
Yeah, so I really think that the lineup for the iPhones, for example, is good. I really like the lineup that we have the SE, which is the cheapest. Then we have like the iPhone 11, iPhone 12, and then we have the 13 Mini, 13 normal, 13 Pro, and then Pro Max. So I would love for Apple to keep doing that, to keep having like a more diverse lineup so that people can choose. And there was a rumor that iPhone Mini wasn't selling so well because in pandemic times, people couldn't just go to Apple Store and just really take it in their hands to really appreciate what kind of a great phone, what kind of a cute, great phone it is. And I'm hoping that this year they will appreciate that and see the cute, great phone that it is. And I hope this 1.5 hour battery will be just enough for me to get by, because this is the only issue that I have with the iPhone Mini is the battery life. And I hope I will get more battery life this year.
Oh, but you can always add, in the case of the iPhone 12 and 13, you can add the attachment battery, and
yeah, I have it. Yeah,
small enough, so that helps with that, at least, I think.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so with that, I think we covered, and I think again it's good to have the iPad Mini back and back with vengeance. So it's really cool that that it's a like very, very cute and very nice iPad as well. So for me, this is like the cherry on top.
Yeah. So please let us know if there's a story that we miss in our contact page on anythingbutidle.com, or tweeting and DMing us on Twitter at anythingbutidle. If you have a question or a comment about anything we have discussed in this show, please leave us a comment. And while you are on there, you will find our show notes, our links, our stories, tools of the week, some extra stuff. If this is your first time watching us live stream, please click the subscribe button so you can get notified when we go live weekly. And if you're listening to the podcast show, please consider adding us to your favorite app. If you click on the subscribe tab on anythingbutidle.com, you will see the instructions to follow us and get episodes downloaded every week. If you enjoy spending time watching us or listening to us today, it will be great help for us if you add a rating or review on Apple Podcast or Stitcher. Your compliments help us reach more personal productivity community. So thank you. And with this, thank you very much, Michael, for coming to this show. And I hope that you have fun today.
I had really great fun. I love geeking out with you about this. So thanks again for inviting me.
Well, see you all next time on Anything But Idle, and here is to your productive life.